while the beach volleyball team has been dominating, the USC baseball team has been a bit up and down. After a tough stretch in late February, USC has turned it around and has a big matchup this weekend against Arizona. I'm now joined by Kristen Lago to help talk some baseball. Kristen, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
So, Kristen, despite winning their last two series against Arizona State and Washington State, USC is still only 15-8 and not ranked. What happened?
So that's the big mystery for a lot of USC baseball fans. They're ranked third in the Pac-12, so they're doing really well in their conference at 4-2. But like you said, they're 15-8 overall, and that's not translating into the rankings in the national polls. So what they need to do is really up their winning percentages. And this season, they have been really up and down. They started off the season quite literally, pun intended, swinging. They won 4-0. They were 4-0, but then they lost the next 5 out of 7. So you can't be up and down like that if you want to show up in the rankings. But they are on a bit of a win streak. They've won their last 3 weekend series. So I think their up and down season really speaks to the young team that we're seeing on the field. They're relatively inexperienced. I think they only brought back 4 older guys, 4 returning starters. So it speaks to the young team. So I think if they can keep on their upward swing, you'll see them in the rankings.
Yeah, and I definitely think being a young team is a huge factor for them. Someone who stands out to me is Lars Nootbaar. He's a sophomore. Big improvements since last season, and I think he's going to do big things for the Trojans.
I definitely agree with you. He actually leads the team right now in slugging percentages and on-base percentages. And another guy who's really doing his thing on the field is another underclassman, Brandon Perez. He leads the team in batting averages. So if those two can spark the offense, I think you're going to see them win some more games and show up in those rankings.
Definitely some new leadership on the team. Coming off a big win against San Diego State last night, USC heads into hostile territory as Arizona is undefeated at home. They just got swept by #1 team in the nation, Oregon State, but they are still a plenty formidable opponent. Who are some of Arizona's key contributors on both offense and defense?
Yeah, like you said, definitely a formidable opponent indeed. Arizona will be tough to beat for this USC team. They are nationally ranked in all 5 of the national polls that I looked at, so that's already showing that they are a really good team this year. But it starts with their offense. As you can see, some of the hitters to watch here, but their whole team is really shining on offense. They've scored 217 runs this season in only 23 games, and they lead the country in scoring at 9.4 runs per game. So that's thanks in part to these guys right here. As you can see, Alfonso Rivas, he currently has the highest batting average on the team. Wow. JJ is second in the country in terms of doubles that he's hitting. And Jared Oliva has 4 home runs this season, one of the best sluggers on their team. So every time they step up to the plate, there's a chance that they're going to hit it, and there's a chance that they're going to score. So really tough to pitch against.
Definitely a strong offense. I mean, all these guys are hitting above 300, which is super impressive. But you can't forget about Arizona's pitching lineup right now. They are killing it.
They are killing it, yes. Understatement indeed, because they definitely are. When they're at the mound, they're going to be really hard to hit against. We got to start off with the starter, J.C. Cloney. As you can see, he's 5-0 when he's at the mound, and his ERA is extremely low. But if you look at the reliever, Cameron Ring, almost identical numbers. So I was looking at the actually all-time leaders in the MLB, and their ERAs are lower than those. Obviously, you can't compare it too much, but definitely still very hard to hit against.
Yeah, these are rivaling some of the pros' numbers right now. I mean, Cy Young winner Max Scherzer, he hasn't even hit these numbers. I mean, a little bit of a different scenario, but still super impressive.
Very impressive indeed. And we already hit on the offense, but I got to say they rank in the top 5 in batting average, on-base percentages, doubles per game, scoring, and runs. So couple that with the pitchers to watch, they're going to be really tough for USC to beat.
A great opponent, but with how good Arizona is, it will certainly be a tough test for USC this weekend. But if they could come out with a series win, that would be one of their biggest of the season. Kristen, thanks so much for joining me. Now let's go to Aaron, who is with one of the USC players who will be taking the field in Tucson this weekend.